Bowling basics, I'm going to be talking about oil. Oil is also referred to as lane conditioner. In every bowling alley you go to, there's going to be oil on the lanes. And back in the day, when they bowled on purely wooden lanes, oil was used to protect the wood. And nowadays, most bowling lanes are made out of a synthetic material, so they don't necessarily need the oil for protection, but oil on the lanes affects how the balls move. If you put spin on the ball, the areas of the lane where it's dry, the ball's going to hook, and the areas of the lane where there's oil, the ball's going to skid. So then people realized that they could take advantage of the oil and have the ball skid in the right places and hook in the right places in order to increase scores. So on the lanes, there's an oil pattern. The oil is not directly flat all the way across the lane unless you're on a sport pattern, which I'll get to. What most bowlers have bowled on and will always bowl on is called a house pattern, or the house shot. Basically, there's a lot of oil in the middle of the lane and not a lot to the outside. So if you're bowling and you happen to miss to the outside of the lane, because it's dry, the ball will hook and come back to try to hit the head pin. And if you miss and you throw it directly through the middle of the lane, it's not going to overhook to the left or right. It's actually just going to skid for longer and still maybe hit the head pin. The house shot is the most forgiving oil pattern, and that's what's typically out there because the more people score, the more people want to come back. If you make the oil be more flat across the lane, that becomes more difficult to bowl on because you don't have as much miss room to the outside or miss room to the middle. So the three categories would be a house shot, challenge shot, and a sport shot, and that has to do with the ratio of oil from the middle to the outside. Pro bowlers bowl on sport shots only, whereas most other bowlers bowl on house shots only. So throwing a 200 on a sport shot is a lot harder to do than throwing a 200 on a house shot, and most people wouldn't really know the difference. So that's why the bowling balls in the bowling alley are typically greasy. It's not just because that's the nature of bowling alleys, rather there's actually oil on the lanes.